JEM is my name, no one else is the same. JEM is my name. JEM.
If you see me fidget more than normal in this episode, it's because I really have to go to the bathroom. But this is more important. So, KJEM. As you may guess from the title, it's about a radio station. So there's a little rinky-dink radio station that, how do I want to set this up? Okay, once upon a time, a dude worked at a radio station, and the guy who hired him ultimately didn't like his work ethic, so he fired him. And dude said, one day, I'll own my own radio station and I will crush him! Fast forward to present day, said dude owns a large radio station and proceeds with crushing. Because the little rinky-dink radio station is out of money and is forced to close, so he's like, haha, I will buy them for a pittance and then dismantle it. Mwahaha. So, there are, like, 4 college kids working on interning at the little rinky-dink station for a communications class that they're taking. And they say, well, we like this place. We'll do what we can to help save the station. So, got kind of a UHF plot going here. And so they're at the college cafeteria, I guess, and they're brainstorming, and the gal sitting next to him is like, hey, she's reading a JEM magazine, and he grabs it, and he's like, what about JEM? And she's like, son of a bitch, give that back! Mine! I was reading that! She finally gets it back, and she storms off, and I was like, she's not a part of that clique. She was just some woman sitting at that table eating lunch, reading a magazine, and he's like, oh, hey! Don't do that! Ask first, you dork. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. Oh, you know what else I thought was funny? This faraway shot of the Starlight Music billboard. Boy, that's a rough drawing of JEM right there. It looks like Ditto. It looks like Ditto posing as JEM. One of the kids is like, goes to Starlight Music and says, hey, where's JEM and the Holograms? They're like, well, it's at this exclusive luncheon somewhere. He's like, all right, great. But they won't let you in. So this kid, tries to go in the front door, and he goes, are you a member of this club, sir? And he goes, no. Then piss off! And slams the door in his face. So he tries to climb over the... by the way, this kid actually knows Kimber from high school, so... He has an in, at least. He's not just completely firing into the dark. He actually does know one of the... he knows Kimber, so... So he tries climbing the fence, and he falls off, because it's a tall, spiky fence. Wooden points at the top of that fence. And a cop is like, hey, you kid trying to trespass on private property, don't let me catch you doing that again. Now get out of here, you little scamp. If you're black, I'd have shot you. So, 2 dudes say, hey, do you have, you want to get in there? He goes, yeah. You have $50? And he goes, as a matter of fact, I do. So they take him up in a plane, strap a parachute on him, and kick him out of the plane. So he parachutes into the exclusive club where JEM is performing in their backyard, and not being great at parachuting, he crashes into a power line which drops everything onto the stage and nearly kills himself and the entire band. But doesn't, because we've still got plot to do in like 25 more episodes. So he's trapped under the parachute with Kimber. And the rest of the holograms made it off the stage, and so they're trying to dig them out, and they finally uncover them, and there's Kimber and her old high school friend making out. Not making out, I'm just kidding, but I'm sure they know each other. Anyway, so he presents his case, and JEM says, hey, I'd like to, but we're kind of full up on commitments right now, sorry. And he says, that's okay, I understand. Oh, by the way, plot point, Rio's getting his pilot license. Good on you, Rio. Haven't seen much of you this season. How are things between you and Jerica? How's that whole Jerica, Rio, JEM triangle thing going? Because the show seems to be ignoring that, which actually, that does get tiresome if you're not actually going to resolve it, so I can't say I mind too much, but how you kids doing? You okay? You haven't kicked any plants recently, have you, Rio? So, the little station decides to sign off for the night, and Jerica's listening to it on broadcast, and just changes her mind and goes down there and says, hey, let's enter into a partner. Starlight Music is going to enter into a partnership with the kids, the college kids, and we'll fund them as long as we can to give them time to actually build up the station so that it can stand on its own. So they rebrand it KJEM, and they, with the help of the Holograms and a bunch of volunteers, they get staff and engineering folk, and they go get local bands to play. And the guy who owns the big radio station, who Eric Bad Guy is currently trying to court to play Misfits music, is having none of this. He's like, I want them destroyed! Because the guy who owned the place fired me once! I will destroy him. So he sends his sleazy little guy over to Eric and the Misfits and says, hey, we've got this really neat opportunity for you, so let's go. And their neat opportunity is performing from the inside of an airplane. And the Misfits are like, well, that's unique, but okay, sure. So what it turns out they're doing is they're jamming the small radio station with Misfits music. So they're trying to do their launch of KJEM, but all it's playing is Misfits music. So they're like, oh no, we're our sponsors are all going to pull out because it's just Misfits music, and their advertisements aren't running, and the local band's music isn't running, and JEM isn't running. It's just Misfits all the time, which isn't really a bad thing, but that's not what we want. So the FCC shows up, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna, as soon as we trace the source of this signal, we're definitely shutting that down. Because, pirate broadcasts, they're illegal, don't you know? They're very illegal. Has Samantha Newark always been pronouncing it very, and I just didn't notice it until recently?
Thanks very much. I think you've got a very serious problem. I'm very honored.
So they notice the plane flying overhead and say, well, it must be coming from there. So Rio gets in his plane and buzzes it until it lands. Not safe. Not safe at all. But it works. And Jerica does a happy dance, which looks like she has to pee, like I do, right now. But I will push through. Pressure on the bladder. Okay. So, the Misfits... funny thing is, because it's the Misfits that are pirating, Jerica immediately goes over to Misfits music and confronts Eric Bad Guy. It's like, Eric the hell, dude! And he's like, I swear to God it's not me! I thought the Misfits were going to be on another station. It's what I've been dumping money into, and I've been scanning the radio waves, and I can't find them. I don't know what's going on, Jerica! I swear to God, you've got to believe me! And Jerica says, okay, I believe you. And Eric says, what, really?
I believe you, Eric.
You do?
Not even you are dumb enough to do a pirate broadcast.
Thanks. So, Rio buzzes the plane lands, the Misfits get arrested and go to jail. Which is a first, and this time they're innocent, so Rio says, and Jerica's feeling a little bad about that, and she's like, the sad thing is they're actually innocent this time, and Rio says, yeah, well, I'll help get him out tomorrow. So the bad guy music station doesn't get what he wants, and the Misfits are in jail, and KJEM radio goes off without a hitch. Will it last? Will it ever come up in this series again? Who knows? All I know is I really have to go to the bathroom. But I've got more